It's really loud right now. I don't know why. We're chilling. Alright, so the stream is up. People are probably gonna slowly but surely start sneaking their way in. I can actually maybe turn desktop volume a little bit up so you guys can hear my epic music pack. It is very epic. I'm gonna give a few minutes. Oh, Amiki, Moist. Wow, you really coming in hot with the good words. I have one more set to submit, and then we can probably just get started. I should have everything, so unless someone screwed up royally, we can just fly right through them. Question is, which one is the real one? Oh, I see. This is probably the real one. Alright, that looks right. Okay. So, this should be called... Why am I forgetting? It's Mind of a Thief from Mother 3. That's the music I use for my menus. So just to make sure I'm looking at this right... Okay, that's our first set. Right, Poodle, I hope both these players win. So today, I'm going to be trying to take an approach similar to what Kang does, where I really want to give these players VOD reviews, something they can come back to, and I guess have some advice. But, you know, we'll have to see. I probably will end up slipping, especially as we go on and doing it more like I do my normal inter-bracket streams, where it's kind of like I do VOD review when I can, and then I just kind of don't the rest of the time. Because I'm really good at commentary, wouldn't you know? But, yeah. Let me just make sure... Okay, everyone's chilling in here. So, we are gonna jump right into it. Yeah, that's understandable, Amiki. Alright, so we have MiaSunset versus TheEscapeGoat, and they're gonna be starting out on Barnstormer. So, I think this pick makes sense from both players. I can maybe see Merchant being a good starter for this matchup too. But generally, I think the platforms are good for force the plat boost. And the low top blast zone is good for Absa to get her vertical kills with up strong and up air. Let's see here. Oh yeah, no, this is a great Absa stage for sure. Alright, so right at the gate, something I feel like I'm noticing from Mia is even when she's putting smoke down, she's not really moving that much. Like, she's kind of just hanging in one spot. Yeah. So, like, right, that was pretty good. But there are some times where you're just kind of standing and, think. Yeah, just, like, standing and placing smoke. You want to get that coverage as far as you can. So that's pretty good right there. 3 up tilts. That's an Absa moment right there, if I've ever seen one. I like the attempt at F tilt there. Right? Absa can get functionally anything out of F tilt, so you just gotta get creative when you start landing those hits. EscapeGoat, that looked like pretty sus DI to me. Galaxies aren't always accurate, but you'll know for sure that you couldn't have survived it if you see the purple galaxy effect. On my game, unless I actually did it wrong and it reset again for some reason, my galaxies will also be Aegis toasters, but yeah. Alright, let's see here. Toaster. Literally a toaster, like a thing you put bread in. good attempt at the follow-up there, just barely missing out. And I don't know if that high teleport for 4s is really the play. If you can, try to find time to sort of wave land, or just straight up land with an aerial onto a platform or the main stage. Alright, good catch right there. Something else I'm noticing, Mia, is that you're not really using... And again, this is something I've actually noticed from a lot of, like, 4s at this level that are first starting out. Nobody really tries to use Combust. And I don't know if that's, like, genuinely part of 4's learning curve. Combust is a really powerful tool that can allow you to turn games around quickly if you know how to land it, and there are some relatively simple confirms like Fair Combust that you can try to go for the time being. Some advice that I've been given that I actually like to go for is I'll try to keep, whenever I mess around with 4s, I'll try to keep 2 smokestacks, and then keep the third one, because obviously when you have 3 stacks, you limit your options because you can't really summon clone or play smoke normally. So try to hold... Brain work, please. Try to hold 2 stacks if you can, and then if you have the time to combust, you can pop up the 3rd stack and have your best kill move ready. So going back, we're going to Treetop. I think this is a pretty good pick. Thing is, you gotta get good at your platform movement with 4s. That's a big fundamental part of his character, is like flat boosts. So the way Combust works, basically when 4s inhales 3 smoke clouds, he'll turn the color of the smoke, and that gives him access to Combust, Super Clone, and basically you can set up more smoke at once. And ooh, unfortunate SD right there. But yeah, Combust is basically a radial hitbox, so it'll send you just out and away from it, and it kills, I want to say around like 70 to 80 on most characters. It'll start full on galaxying. Let's see. A little bit of an SD right there. So actually, TheEscapeGoat, something to remember is that you can use cloud pops and air dodges to stall yourself in the air. I haven't really seen you use air dodge very much as like a sort of defensive tool, and that's definitely an ult thing, because I was in your stream, and I noticed this earlier. When you SD'd there, you totally could have air dodged just on the stage even. And it's hard, If you're coming from ult, that's a hard habit to break, but the faster you break it, the better, because if you can learn how to recover early on, and you can learn to DI early on, you'll be tanking your stocks for super long, and you won't really feel like you're getting sauced around as much. Like DI and recovery are probably the 2 most important skills after just basic control. Going off the wise words of MSB at least. I don't know if we have MSB's learning guide pinned in Code Kang, but it's incredibly good. For those of you that are in Academy, just check like the 1st or 2nd pin in Ask a Mentor. Let's see. Good attempt on the recovery there. Ooh, that was a tough catch. I spent like half that game trying to explain Combust, so I didn't really notice if Mia was using the platforms properly. So I'm really going to have to pay attention to that on this game, where we're going to be going to Frozen Fortress. I think it's another decent pick. I'm not as sure about this one in this matchup specifically, because I wouldn't, as 4s, I don't know if I'd want to give Absa all the space to run away. It's not an awful pick though. It can work. Alright, another thing too, I don't want to go too much into matchup specific advice, if possible, at least for these first couple sets. But against Absa, you gotta learn to abuse Crouch Cancel as soon as possible. Crouch Cancel really makes it hard for Absa to throw out her F-tilts in her clouds, because you can basically tank it. It's a very niche tech, mostly just useful in this matchup, but yeah. Just kind of one of those things. Nice parry on the cloud. That was good. Can you Crouch Cancel out of Wave Dash? I don't see why not, no. You should be able to, yeah. Like there's gonna be the kind of Wave Dash and lag that's universal, but yeah. Because you can do anything out of a Wave Dash, right? So all you have to do is crouch, and then just keep running. Or even just keep Wave Dashing. Ooh, that was a good catch right there. Get bear. But Mia coming in right back with the back air. Alright, getting caught on the tech out right there. Scapegoat. In general, a scapegoat. I'd recommend, I think I already said this, but if you can grind out some quick attack movement and learn how to like edge, I think I said this in your chat actually. If you can learn to edge cancel and learn to utilize the fact that you don't go in the free fall after grounded up B, that can add a lot to your movement and it'll actually make platforms fun. Right, edge canceling is like, it's honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the only hard parts of APSA, but it's incredibly good. Ooh, that was unfortunate SD. Alright, on this last stock is one more thing I want to see if Mia can pull out and maybe turn the set around. Because it's a tough situation for Mia to be in. A stock down and one game away from losing the set. Okay, that's pretty good back air actually. And I'm not entirely sure if that qualifies as a ledge boost. Ooh, good little string. Could have been a big turnaround from Scapegoat. Gotta be ready to just follow up with other stuff like fair and up air on those F-tilt ones. And a Thunderline spot. Okay. I'm wondering if you could have gotten a little bit more off of like a down tilt string rather than just a down strong, but that's a fair enough parry punish. In like a panic situation, I can understand that. Oh, not reacting to the Thunderline. Getting taken out. The raw Thunderline, that's going to be going to a Scapegoat. So, in general, Mia, one other thing I just want to add on is to start utilizing running off of platforms as your approach option. I actually see you doing it a little bit, right? Like, there are definitely some times where it feels like you're running off of platforms trying to approach, but I can't tell if you're doing that just because you can or because Force likes it. Force gets a ton of momentum running off of plats and like plat boosting. So if you can pick that up, it'll make your approaches a lot scarier in general. And it's a Force tech that I'd say, or just general Force concept that I think is really important to pick up early on. But yeah, in general, I think it's going to about cover it for that set. Both of you could definitely stand to get better at using platforms is going to be my main advice. Learn how to pick up on those, and learn more about recovery. Those two things are really good to pick up early on. And yeah, I think that's going to about cover everything I have to say about this. So we're going to be moving on. I should open challenge again to make sure I have all the names right. There's a couple of these I don't quite remember offhand. So 1 second while I pull this up. It should be Orcane. And I think Zacknight went Rano game 1 here. So we're going to be going into Zacknight versus NotShort next. Let me just go find their game 1. Okay. So Green Orca and Blue Rano. I don't know if this was like a default custom or something, but yeah, I'm just gonna say it's Blue Rano for right now for simplicity's sake. It's absolutely not Blue Rano. Yeah, it's clearly not Blue Rano, but we're sticking with it. Okay. Okay. Which, of course you are. Okay. So, as long as this is in fact game 1, we should be good to go here. So, wow, Needle's coming in right from the start, just boop, boop. Alright. Oh, that was not quite how you want to start out a set. Unfortunate. Alright, so that was actually a pretty good bubble punish right there. One thing I will say, because I played Zacknight earlier, I feel like his punish game is pretty good. Everything else is a little bit lacking right now. But his punish game is pretty good, so I'm expecting to see some pretty snazzy Rano combos coming out here. Very decent little strength from NotShort. Okay, actually, I mean, to be fair, that puddle mix-up worked. I'm a little surprised you didn't go for fair there. Though I'm gonna trust that you understand that that's a situation where you can go for fair. Because you were fairly high up, right? Fairly high up, of course. Oh, unfortunate. So something I'm actually noticing... Oh, wait, maybe I am noticing. Ah, and once again, yes, D. So yeah, Zacknight, if you're gonna go for the bubble tethers, obviously, make sure you practice them. It's hard to say, like, how much you have. Like, I know people make mistakes. That is a fairly good recovery mix-up for Rano, from what I understand. Although it's hard to say, because I feel like a lot of Rano's recovery mix-ups in particular are really exploitable compared to some others. It's more so that they're reactable than exploitable, I guess I should say. But yeah, you have so much time to react to them that you have to be pretty careful. Getting a little hasty on the strong attacks. Ooh, good catch with the up strong. Dang. I'm not noticing anything too much yet, aside from the missed recovery. Or I'll admit, my Rano recovery knowledge isn't as good as it should be, because Rano's low airspeed makes his recovery feel really clunky to me. So it's hard for me to give you the best advice. But yeah, if you don't know those mix-ups, especially if you're messing them up in bracket, makes it seem like you don't, definitely make sure you've grinded those out and you got them down. So, I would say, I actually think I really like the, well, I'm wondering, I feel like FD is a really good stage pick for Rano. I'm not so sure about this matchup, and that right there is why. Abusing bubbles at ledge is pretty much the one thing Orca has in this matchup that almost evens it out. And not having the platforms, oh, that's unfortunate. You hate to see it. And, interesting time to go for the Needle Storm. Oh, well, once again we have... Alright, let's see here. Ooh, decent little strength. And, alright. I will say, so Zacknight, something to note about Arcane Recovery is that the Hurtbox in Arcane reappears before the hitbox comes out. So you need to be reading it and trying to hit Arcane out of it. If you can, right, Tongue is probably a safe option, but I can't guarantee that one. Alternatively, like F-Strong, you might even be able to like try to catch up with the up-strong. But yeah, you really gotta be punishing those side Bs. Worst comes to worst, you just try to throw a needle, rack on the damage, and get the poison stacks up. And then do your rescue with the pressure after. But you shouldn't be letting Short get back for free every time, because it kind of feels like that's what's been happening for the most part. It's like he presses the teleport button and he's back on stage. Couldn't catch the roll right there. So you try to catch the side B right there, but you just went in. I'll be honest, NotShort, I'm not entirely sure you should be using side B in neutral like that, but if it's hitting, I can't exactly say it didn't work, because it kind of did. Oh, that's unfortunate. That honestly looked like it was going to hit. Alright, nice. I like NotShort getting aggressive right there. And now, where were the bubbles? You still got the kill. So again, it's like, I can't say you're wrong. But that was prime time for bubbles. And you are putting bubbles at ledge, and you are popping the bubbles at ledge fairly frequently, but there are some situations like that where you can definitely be catching him and keeping up the pressure. But you're just not. So that's one of those things you just gotta be aware of and, you know, make sure it's, like, on your mind. Zacknight actually gonna be coming through with the character switch. So that looks about right. So Zacknight gonna be going Shovel Knight. And as far as Abyss as a Shovel Knight stage, it's okay. It's okay. Alright, understandable. So, let's see here. For Shovel Knight, right? At this level, I feel like you should be learning how to round start fish and just abuse that, because Shovel Knight base is a little weak. Shovel Knight with relics is amazing. In this matchup, you're generally going to be trying to abuse usually gloves, but also gear. You could use gear in theory. Most people will abuse gloves though, and momentum mail to basically keep up with Arcane speed and range. Yeah, fishing is sometimes a good edge guard option, but usually you just need to go out and try to dare him to death. So something you can actually do to catch Arcane side B with Shovel Knight is down strong. It has a very lingering and active hitbox. And as long as he side B's in the general vicinity. Where are my toasters? God damn it. Rivals makes me so upset. It keeps deleting my galaxy effects. Honestly, after this set, I might like restart the game and put my toaster back in because I really miss it. But anyway, yeah, you can like down strong the side B. It won't continue the edgeguard loop, but it can just sometimes kill, because down strong is really difficult to DI, especially if the Arcane himself barely knows where they're going to end up. Good parry. I do kind of agree with NotShort trying to go for the frame 7 though. That is definitely a good, like, mess 'em up option. And Zacknight, if you're going to play Shovel Knight, learn your shot macros. So in that situation, you could have pressed right. Oh, wait, are you a keyboard player? You're a keyboard player. Try to find out how shot macros work on keyboard, because that makes your shot a lot faster and will allow you to kind of keep up better. I'm getting a little bit desperate. So, back air is Shovel Knight's main tool, right? So you gotta be learning, instead of trying to just walk forward and like F-strong and hope he gets hit, you basically want to bar back air, either just retreating a little bit, or I like to inch forward with it personally. I think that can work well. But yeah, you need to start using bar bear some more. That move basically allows you to keep up with the disjoint that Arcane has at its disposal. In addition, don't recover with anchor so much. Landing with up B on stage is a crutch, but it's a bad crutch. Right, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a crutch. That's kind of how it works. Not sure. I'm sure you're aware of this, but that means that you weren't holding into the wall when you press jump. And Zacknight's actually going to be going back on the runner here. But if you do ever decide to keep up with the Shovel Knight, you have to learn how to recover better, because that's a super important part of it. Alright, I'm going to be switching. Did they seriously go back to... Alright, so this is actually a DSR, in all fairness. But, oh, apparently I done messed up. Alright, there we go. This was DSR, but if Zacknight didn't call it, then it's whatever. Alright. Oh, good bubble follow-up. Good bubble follow-up. Like I said, Zacknight, you actually have a pretty good punish game. The issue is your disadvantage is, like, really bad. A lot of your recoveries... That was good. That was pretty solid. It could have been a little cleaner, I think, but you got back on stage, and that is the important part. God, getting caught with the F-strong right there, though. Actually, not sure. Now that I'm looking at your gameplay a little bit more, because I have been commenting on Zacknight a lot, since he's mostly been behind so far, something I'm noticing is you're not really using a lot of wave dash. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any wave dash. Wave dash down tilt is, like, way better than dash attack. Oh, DSR means you can't pick a stage you've already won on. Oh, that was an interesting attempt at bubble butt. But yeah, no. Where are the wave dash down tilts? That's free neutral right there. It's milestone system neutral, my guy. Oh, good frame 7. And hey, you know, you're taking the set. But yeah, okay, while I'm, alright, I gotta quit out real quick, because I need my Aegis toaster. I'm actually, like, genuinely upset about this. This is, like, the 3rd time, actually probably the 4th time in, like, the past week I've had to redo this. Actually, can I do something scuffed? Okay, Rivals might crash. Alright, Rivals didn't crash. Okay, yeah. Literally, just, like, practice, just for right now, I'd recommend just spending some time practicing wave dash down tilt and practicing wave landing. If you can get those 2 things down, your movement will be a lot more crisp. Because right now, like, one of the more... Let me restart here. In my opinion, one of the only complex parts of Arcane is that he has really fluid movement. Right? He has some of the most fluid movement in the cast. So if you can learn how to utilize that movement and, you know, do stuff like wave dash down tilt, wave land, and like plat drop and stuff, your play will be much cleaner because you're not abusing the disjoints that Arcane has. And that's a key part of how you want to play neutral with this character, is just like taking advantage of how you can outrange the opponent. Because Arcane doesn't have the best range, but it's better than most. A lot of characters are going to have a hard time challenging the speed and combo potential of your down tilt. So I'd highly, highly recommend learning how to use that. Next up, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I got my Galaxy working now. We're gonna find out, hopefully, in this game. We're gonna be having Kang's brother, Taxman, versus Tododas. And Tododas is kind of just vibing, playing Crag today. Taxman busting out his Rano, so we got another Bad Frog. I think this is the only other Bad Frog that we have for tonight. We had one other, but he had the DQ, unfortunately, so... What do you mean? It's Champ Crag. Is it not supposed to be Champ Crag? Oh, actually, Tododas. I think Kang disables custom skins. Yeah, that actually makes sense. I'm pretty sure Kang disables custom skins, and he's the one that sent us in. So that's probably why. Although, I'm honestly not sure. I could be wrong. So Taxman coming in with a lot of dash attacks so far. Understandable to a degree. That was not a good punish. Taxman definitely should have downstronged right there. That's easily Rano's best parry punish, and it's actually one of the best parry punishes in the game. And once again, I think that's probably going to be something we're going to be seeing a lot in this set, is Taxman going for these 4-strongs. Because I don't think he's really used to using downstrong yet. Alright, my Galaxy in. After this game, I'm resetting Rivals to put my Galaxy in. Once and for all. Because you guys need to witness Aegis Toaster, I'm sorry. Sounds like there was an SD there. I'll be back in 1 second to watch, I promise. I'm just being funny right now. Alright, so... Alright, good recovery position from Toto, going right into the wall. Oh, Rock Shine? Alright. It works. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Kind of second guessing yourself on the armor. I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, you do kind of have to read if they're gonna parry or not there. And I like that wait. Just kind of chilling out, waiting for the F-strong. As far as Taxman's concerned, don't really be worrying. Like, in that situation, it's not really worth trying to cover Crag's jump in, because he's probably got 2 or 3 options that are ready to beat whatever you're doing. So it's probably best to just wait back and see, like, if he's gonna keep rolling on stage, right, you can just go back and punish the roll on reaction. And if you do think he's gonna jump, just, like, and, like, not roll, it's probably feasible for Rano to just, like, react to the jump and pump. And, like, Crag probably can't punish even with the initial dash buffs. There we go, Taxman finally starting to use the down strong. And pot drop back air, gonna get parried. A little slow on the punish right there. That was a decent attempt. And weird DI on the dash attacks, but it happens. I'm pretty sure that, like, honestly, I'm pretty sure that does just kind of happen. Like, Rano dash attack into itself is a DI mix-up. So it's hard to flat out say that that was bad DI, even though it obviously wasn't good DI. Ooh, good catch with the up strong right there. And Taxman throwing out a lot of panic rolls. Definitely have the nerfs coming in. Ooh, okay, good catch with the fair. So I like Taxman's attempts to use needles to, like, slow down Todo. Alright, 1 second. We are quitting the game. I am running gmodding tool.exe one more time. And alright, we're probably good now. If it's not working from here, I'm going to give up on the meme, but yeah. Anyway, I'm wondering, because, like, that might have actually just been, like, a situation where you're kind of screwed. But I'm inclined to say that Rano, like, needles are fast enough that you probably could have, like, rolled. If you were totally unsure of what was going to happen, right, you could have just rolled in. And realistically, it's going to be hard for Toto to punish you there. And, oh boy. Hold up. Alright, okay, we're good now. OBS just had a little bit of a stir. Alright, so, taking Crag to Rockwall. Taxman. No, please don't take Crag to Rockwall, I'm begging you. Rockwall is, like, one of Crag's best stages, if not his best stage. So you really don't want to be giving him this advantage, right? What's going to be happening if you take Crag here is you're going to be getting killed early. And Crag's going to be dying earlier, but not that much earlier, because he's still, like, the heaviest character in the game. You know, barring, I guess, Armor Edilus. And not only that, you've given Crag space to run away and pull rock and zone. And in this matchup, you kind of got to be playing, like, mid-range to a degree. Either mid-range or up close, depending on how aggressive you can comfortably be. And making sure that he doesn't have the time to pull rock. Alright, decent punish on the rock right there. Good catch with back air. The best stages for boxing, so, like, playing it close. Just generally, you want small stages, right? So, like, Treetop, I think, is excellent for Shovel Knight, for example. I would say Treetop is your best bet. Tempest can sometimes be okay for that, but it's kind of weird where it promotes really heavy camping, but it also has a small main platform. Ethereal Gates has a pretty small main platform, so that's a decent pick, I guess, for playing it close. And Rockwall, I guess Rockwall and Aramata would be the other best ones. And of course, you always have Jules Veil. Like, Jules Veil's a really good, you know, everyone can play on Jules Veil comfortably pick. And you can do anything on Jules Veil comfortably, and it's very average blast zones. Right, Treetop is a small stage, so to be honest, like, Escapegoat, I personally think Treetop is probably a mediocre Absa stage. Unless you want to try to become a more aggressive Absa. The stages for Arcane, Blazing Hideout, Forest Floor, I want to say, Tempest, I think, is okay, and Chapel Pond. Those are all some of Arcane's best stages, to my knowledge. But at the same time, whoa. Arcane doesn't also... The thing is, Arcane doesn't have a bad stage, to my knowledge. Right, Arcane can play anywhere well, because he's like the generalist jack-of-all-trades character. Toto, I hope you don't mind, but if I pay attention to this game at all, I'm going to be paying attention to what Taxman does. Just because, from what I understand, like, you do normally play Ori, so I don't think serious Crag advice is really on your agenda. And it might be on Kang or Taxman's agenda, so I want to make sure there's some advice being dropped here. Absa stages... Again, Absa doesn't necessarily have awful ones. I'm pretty sure Forest Floor is good. Basically, you want either a lot of space to run away, and like... Ooh, that's unfortunate. You either want good space to like run away and sort of zone out, or you want low ceilings. So Forest Floor is pretty good for that. What am I thinking? Merchant Port is really good for edge canceling. Thanks, Sam. I think I'm fine doing solo tonight, though. Yeah. Pretty sure Tempest is good for Absa. You generally want good space, right? Yeah, no, Ethereal Gates and Blazing Hideout are probably her worst stages, but they're not even bad for her. Like, you can learn how to make them fine. But Gates, if you're... I would recommend permabanning Gates for right now, though. Alright, though. Right now, Taxman having a really hard time getting past the rock. Ah, that's a terrible position, but it's not a super comfy one either. Hey, yeah, understandable. Oh, getting caught by the fair right there. That was a pretty quick 3-0 from Tododas right there. Yeah, really. Slam, do you want to drop any Rano Crag tips real quick? Because I apparently don't know about as much about this matchup as I want to. The main thing I want to say is that I feel like there were too many times where you were throwing needles and just letting Crag pull rocks and just kind of do his thing for free. Because of the speed you have, you probably want to be putting a little bit more pressure. Alright, though. So next up, we're going to be having TerraSky versus Moto. Right, so I'm expecting that, and... Savanos... That's not Savanos, that's Rano. And you're using... the white one, I think? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Whisker, there isn't really a bracket for this part, so you actually can't get a bracket link, unfortunately. But if you want, I guess I could... Yeah. Cyber Circle has a pretty weird structure, so, like, that will show you roughly what's happening, but yeah, it's not really accurate to the sets you're going to be seeing right now. Alright, so to get right into this... Alright, Rano can be really tough if he gets an miss parry on the pedal wave right there. Alright, interesting time to use Howl. New Howl is definitely a little bit weird, so it's hard for me to say if that was the best call, but I kind of see what you're going for, trying to cover all the landing options at once. Decent option. Really slow on that parry punish right there. I think you were trying to do a DI mix-up. But it didn't quite work out. Just kind of missing the punish entirely. Oh, good Thunderline. Alright, if you see your opponent getting aggressive at Dapsa in their recovery, you can use Thunderline to mix them up and stall yourself. Yeah, you gotta be prepared for those Thunderlines. I wonder if Moto was actually trying to, like, crouch cancel that. So I think I might be seeing a bit of a trap right here. Moto versus Asa. In this matchup, right? Your best bet is actually to stay grounded and crouch cancel her stuff rather than try to chill on the platform and not get hit by it. Right? Because on crouch cancel, you can punish a lot of the stuff Asa's going to be doing if she's like popping clouds and such. So use that to your advantage, right? Don't camp on the platforms. Ooh, good catch. Okay, ooh, nice little string. I like your V-Stash follow-ups, they're very nice. Were you going for a rot drop right there? I feel like that might have been a rot drop attempt that you missed out on. Okay, no more character bias. That was a pretty rough... That was a pretty one-sided game one, I'll say. And Terra, seeming to feel the same way, deciding to go for the character switch, which I'm just gonna say up front, if you're switching characters to just kind of, you know, get your mind out of the gutter essentially and like realign yourself, that's valid. If you are still trying to use both of these characters in bracket, you do not want to use Sylve. You do not want to use Claren in the Sylve. This is not a fun matchup for Claren. As Clockwork will tell you, I have like a 3-0 record in him in bracket. Just because this matchup is not easy for Claren. Kirbs, it's Toaster Aegis from Persona 3. She's a toaster. It's really funny. Laugh. I'm gonna turn this down a tiny bit. Alright. Good no fun zone positioning is kind of getting that out right out the gate. Yeah, see, you're trying to go for double jump down air right there. So in general, if you're going to be approaching Sylve, which you do have to do in this matchup, you want to try to approach from a 45. Plat Boost Nair, and probably Plat Boost Bear, or I guess Myst Bear rather. But especially Plat Boost Nair is going to be one of your strongest approach options, because most of your other stuff is not easy to whiff punish with. In general, you have to play a whiff punish game versus Sylve if you're most of the cast. Some characters like Orkin and Absa can out-camp him, but what you're doing right now, which is trying to out-camp Moto, that's not going to work. Because Sylve can just place grass and then approach at you with more ground speed and bigger disjoints. A little bit of a whiff there on the down air, it seems. Alright, just coming in with the F-Strong. If it works, it works. Okay, good down strong. Trying to get your option coverage. Not too shabby. This is an excellent start. I will say too, this is not a stage I would recommend taking Sylve to. In general, Sylve's best stages are going to be, I'd say, Abyss, Frozen, and Fire Capital. So, try to be like, don't take Sylve there. I'd recommend permabanning Capital versus Sylve, if I'm being honest, as just about anyone. Oh, nice Mono. But yeah, I recommend not taking Sylve to Frozen. It's a good Sylve stage. Alright, good crash cancel on the Howl right there. But the important thing is, right, you are kind of approaching, you're playing very mid-range. Which is understandable, right? That can work versus Sylve. Just barely. I think something else that's kind of being an issue right now is that... What am I thinking? Your punish game on Claren is pretty subpar. You're never really getting like big combos, you're just getting the occasional dare up strong. And that's about it. You definitely want to be capitalizing a bit more off of the hits you can get, which I guess, in all fairness, that might be a fundamental problem of the fact that most of the hits you're getting are strong attacks and dare. Which is why, again, like I said, you've got to try to figure out how to incorporate more back air and neutral air. Yeah, Slam, I do agree, like, I do it, but I wouldn't recommend other people learn... Oh no, that's an unfortunate SD. You know, Slam, I do agree that's not something you should rely on. The thing is, if you're going to dual main, I feel like it's not a bad idea to abuse that. Or at the very least, like, I don't know. That's probably just me, because I abuse that a lot. Because I can keep both of my characters on relatively the same level. Yeah, that's what I mean, Slam. The thing is, Terra has been playing Claren, right? Yeah, because, like, Terra has been playing Claren to my knowledge. I don't know what the sort of ratio on her characters is right now. I just know that in this situation, because you're switching into a losing matchup, you should not have switched. At least that's my take on it, because you essentially went from, like, an even matchup to a 45-55, which isn't that bad in general, but in Rivals can be pretty frustrating. Well, you know now. Like I said, ask Clockwork about it. I'm seeing more use of Nair, which is good. And once again, Terra, you're falling into a trap where I guess you just don't know a lot about the Sylph matchup. So again, I think I'm gonna hope that you heard what I said earlier about stages. This is one of the stages I don't recommend picking against Sylph. Escapegoat, that doesn't really seem necessary. Ooh, that was a really good catch at the upstrong. I got to see the toaster, so I'm happy. Alright, good job coming in from Moto. I like the use of the juggle. I think that's a really potent part of Sylph's kit. At least personally, I just use it a lot. So right there, Moto, that was a time you could have gone for B-Stash upstrong. Around, I'm gonna say 70 to 120, generally, or 70 to 110, give or take. On DIN and no DI, you can do B-Stash upstrong, and that's what you should have done right there. Yeah, that's what I mean, Slam. That's what I mean, though, is, like, if he already plays Absa, there's not really a point in making the adjustment. Unless it's also what you meant, just kind of reiterating it. Ah, gotcha. I mean, Moto, I don't think you can react to the DI, and at least not on Wi-Fi. I always, because I'm, like, bad at reacting to DI, I always hard read either S-strong or B-Stash on DI out, and up-strong on DI in. Damn. Alright. The Vortex coming in. Terra down on her potentially last game of the set right now. Definitely not in a great spot right now. Alright, decent catch. I tried to go for it right there. I guess in that position you can outbox Sylph. Most characters you can't outbox though, like that. This Clarin. It's just these two characters happen to have the worst boxing games in the game. So, I guess it's potentially an option. Okay. They're very antsy right now, it feels like. Oh, good DI on that. That was good. In general, I feel like... and once again, this is what I mean, Hera, is that... Not only did you whip that punish, but to be honest, you had the location where Moto was gonna go, and you tried to punish with just Sour down strong. Oh, SD. That sucks. But, I guess Terra, like, if you have the read on where they're gonna be, side special is a much better punish than any of your strong attacks will ever be. So that's something you should try to learn to incorporate. We have Moto going to Gates right now. This isn't an awful stage pick. Again, I don't know what the bans were, so whatever works. This isn't awful. It's not personally where I'd go versus Clarin, but there is definitely an element of preference to stage pick, so I won't critique it too much. Ah, there we go. Approaching with the Nair and trying to follow with dash attack, but yeah, Clarin dash attack's lucky. Gotcha. Time loss is unfortunate. Alright. I like how Terra's approaching now more. Trying to, actually jump in and abuse Sylph's anti-air weakness. That's good. Good adaptation on Terra's part, and kind of figuring out the matchup a little bit. It's unfortunate that it took, you know, 3-4 games to get up there. And yeah, no, Slam, I definitely agree, right? There's a lot, especially the last two games, there was a lot of, like, strong attack spam. I feel like Terra's definitely playing smarter now, and that was I'm surprised that hit. Definitely a good catch, but I'm honestly, yeah, that's not normally gonna work. Dacus is so good, dude. Dacus is sick. Alright, Moto, relying a little bit... So something I would be worried about if I were Moto right now is, like, right, Terra's doing a lot of charge, strong attack at ledge, right? you have to recover high to get around that. So even if you're low, you can try to do like, you know, wall jump and then like double jump and or air dodge, and then B stash or up B back on stage, instead of burrowing. But if you can avoid burrowing when you see her just spamming the charge strats, that's really powerful to utilize. Alright, good Hal conversion. Hello, Oregon. What's up? Ooh, alright. Good air dodge. Interesting catch with the bear. I respect it. Oh, this is big. Oh no! Did Terra not realize she was in hit stun? Alright. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, Zed or F, like, I think we can all agree at the very least that Zed or F Strong probably has more uses than Claire and F Strong. But F Strong is like underwhelming. I can't tell if that move is like, I always think it's so underwhelming, and then I like die to it randomly, and I'm like, well, is it underwhelming though? It definitely is. I've seen it not kill it ridiculous percents. I want to redo my leap on this stage. Ooh, I respect the attempt to catch that right there with the up air, but it didn't quite work out. Oh no, coming in with a decent edge guard. This is big, right? Against Claren, you really want to exploit her bad recovery. Like that. That was really nice. That was a good catch. So in general for Terra, I think it's important to work on your use of platform movement. Talking mostly about your Claren because that's what I saw more of. Work a bit on platform movement and figure out how to get in, and also your punish game, which as of right now is pretty weak. And then for Moto, I guess trying to get a better grip on recovery mix-ups, because right now there aren't too many of those. I also feel like you burrowed in a lot, though I can't tell if that was just a funny coincidence that every time I tried to look at where you burrowed in. That might not be necessarily true, but yeah, I'm inclined to say that you burrowed in a lot, so try to watch for that. So next up, we're going to be having Tsune versus Myst. Which apparently... Oh, nope. Not what I thought it was. So Tsune is going to be using White Claren, and Myst is going to be using some kind of custom raster skin, so I'm just going to say blue. Alright, we are game 1, going to Julesvale. Alright, solid first pick. Kind of the standard first pick. Hold up, Oregon. Oh, that was, Oregon, that was the final boss music from Xenoblade, and I can't tell you what it's called because it's a spoiler. But listen to Xenoblade music, it's very good. So, as far as this matchup goes, I'm pretty sure this is... Yeah. No, I'm not going to spoil my favorite game of all... one of my favorite games of all time. Oh, unfortunate double SD right there. Missed kind of counting on the, proper recovery a bit too much. Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is Shulk's game. Alright. I'll admit, I don't really know much about Raster, so I don't think I can give the best advice here. I can't really point out what you're doing wrong in neutral as effectively. But yeah, if anyone who knows more about Raster wants to drop some stuff in chat, because I think Myst is here hanging out, that'd be cool. So far what I am noticing... What can I notice from Tsune at the very least? Because I do happen to know a decent amount about Claren, I feel like. Getting very desperate for F-Strong edge guards. So, Tsune is definitely running into the same trap Terra did, where it's like... next, you're not wrong, but also, isn't it like the entire cast? But yeah, that's a good point. Trying to learn hit falling and pick up on that is super important. And yeah, I'm seeing it right there. Actually, good time to mention it. right? You probably could have followed up faster off that F tilt, as an example. Ah, just barely catching it right there. So, Tsune, something I'm noticing from you, if you're hanging out, is that, your punish game, or at least your edge guarding, has mostly revolved around just F-stronging into him. So, try to figure out... I respect the attempt for daring to grab. Side B is a much safer option in my... I feel like side B is a much better parry punish option in that position. Right, you can do side B, grab it low percents. But, like, there are definitely other options. Side B, this guy's kind of the limit. Alright, ooh, not a bad catch right there. Definitely very much a, like, you know, fuck it, let's see if it works option. But it did work, so, you know. As far as Myst stage pick goes, I don't think this is an awful option. The only thing I'd be worried about is that a lot of Claren's earliest kill options are going to kill you off the top. And going to a stage with a low ceiling as a light floaty character is definitely a risk you have to be careful about taking. But I understand the stage is pretty good for Raster, so... yeah, Oregon, this is for people that are in the amateur or just above the amateur bracket. So if your CK average seed is between 30 and 48, yo, that was nice. That was nice. Not much more I can say. Okay. Few whiff punish here. And Myst kind of blowing a lot of jumps trying to wait for Tsune to leave an opening. And ultimately that just leaves Myst without any options. In a way where she can just get punished. So that's something to be careful of, for sure. And I think Tsune's starting to fish for Dacus a little bit. So watch out for, like, how strong you're fishing for those. You were ready to attack that. I saw the DIN. Just gotta work on the timing. But it's good that you recognize the situation. Alright. Okay. Missing the follow-up right there. And Tsune, I feel like Tsune's starting to kind of throw out a lot of moves. And just like hoping they hit. And a lot of them aren't really hitting. Okay. Somewhat messy follow-up right there. But once again, it does kill. And it galaxies, in fact. So... if it works, it works. Alright. Continuing on here, Myst. Gonna be switching it up a little bit. In fact, gonna be going for the Ditto. Trying to see if she can beat Claren at her own game. Can she? Let's find out. Alright. Oregon, you should come for interstreams then if you like my commentary. I'm surprised you do, but if you like my commentary, come to interstreams. They're very fun. And cool and fun. Oh, that was some unfortunate DI. Not a good spot to be in a Claren. Alright, Myst. Not quite getting the edge guard right there. Claren recovery is weak, but it's definitely, Oh, that was not a good punish. You gotta side B in those situations. This is like the third time I said it, but yeah, side B should be your go-to parry punish. Alright, good catch with the F-strong. At the very least, it's good spacing. And yes, Oregon, I am surprised just because I'm never sure if my commentary is good or not. I feel like half the time it's just not that good. And both players right now, I feel like both of them are throwing out a lot of just like F-strong and dare. Okay, once again, I think that time Myst didn't really seem ready for the spike. Against Claren, you do have to like make sure, because you can react to it as Claren, you don't necessarily even have to be ready for it. Yeah, right, like if you guys start landing grab dare, at the very least, right, that's a really simple dare follow-up. that can lead into some big damage if you know what you're doing. Kirbs, it's specifically Lysander's team, but yes. Okay, slipping past with this side special. You want to try to avoid landing on stage with side special, but if you are slipping past, it'll work every once in a while, but it very rarely will, just because it's so slow that you're going to get punished. Not a bad jab check, but definitely try to space it. Something I'm actually noticing right now that I'm paying attention to this again, is that neither of you are really wave dashing that much. Claren's wave dash, in my opinion, is one of the better ones in the game. My Claren is made up heavily of wave dash down tilt, wave dash up tilt, and wave dash jab. And you guys haven't really used that at all. Right, a lot of your neutral has essentially been dash dancing into the strong attacks. So, you've got to figure out how to incorporate wave dash tilts as a better, like, parry punish. Or not parry punish, I mean, whiff punish. And it's just general spacing tool. Because down tilt, I think, is like frame 10 and doesn't have that much, like, end lag, relative just how big it is. So as long as people aren't jumping over you, you really want to abuse that tool. If you can, just, like, stay grounded, pressure with tilts, because Claren's ground moves are generally going to be safer than her aerial moves. Of course, if you do want to work on aerial movement, you have plat boosts and just general platform movement that you can squeeze in. But I think for the time being, just learning how to incorporate wave dash and grounded tilts, or wave dash tilts, I should say, that's going to take you very, very far. So do both of you do yourself a solid and learn that. Also, Miki can confirm here, but I think for Myst, this also kind of goes double, because Miki's leaving, never mind. But I'm pretty sure Raster wave dash down tilt is his best whiff punish tool. I think there's some disjoint on it, and of course, like his other tilts, you can jump cancel. Okay, Miki confirm for me. Is wave dash down tilt good on Raster? Wave dash up tilt. So you can also wave dash up tilt. Alright, so yeah. Wave dash, even as Raster, right? Wave dash down tilt is incredibly good, especially if you're in slipstream. So learn how to wave dash, because I don't really see either of you going for it too much yet. It's honestly something I think is a general issue for amateur bracket players, is that a lot of players don't really, like, incorporate wave dash, and just generally don't have good movement, which makes sense. Obviously, movement's one of the most, probably the most complex part of Rivals. But wave dashing in this game is relatively easy, so the faster you can pick up on it, the wider you can expand your move pool. Pretty even game right now, and I like the Spirit Tree pick. It makes sense for Claren. Obviously in the Ditto, you know, you're not really abusing too much unless you happen to know the player matchup really well, and I doubt Tsune knows the player matchup right here particularly well. Especially on Myst's secondary Claren. Or seemingly secondary Claren, I should say. Oh, coming in with the forge. Again, like, the thing is, your forward strong spacing's actually been pretty good, all things considered. Like, a good chunk of them have been tippers. The problem is, it's so much safer to just wave dash down tilt, or even wave dash up. Like, you should be wave dash down tilting probably, but wave dash up tilt works too. Yeah, I wanted to comment on your slipstream use earlier. It's just that I don't really know enough about, because Miki's commenting on it right now, saying that people aren't going to threaten Raster in slipstream. The problem is, I don't know, for some reason slipstream doesn't make sense to me, so I'm not good at giving advice for Raster. I can give advice for basically anyone else, just not the bird. Yeah, right, Nair's another good approach option. But I think if we want to keep this simple, for the time being, learn how to utilize wave dash tilts. Because you can get pretty far from just abusing those, at least in my opinion. Right though, with that Claren Ditto done, Tsune is going to be taking that set. Next up, I think, how many sets do we have left? We only have 2 more sets left. So, this is a special set, because the winner of this gets to fight the person who won in Pool A. So, we're going to be seeing how this goes. We're going to be having Salmon versus Mr. Kirbs. Salmon has a really weird, in my opinion, very slightly cursed Absa ult that's based off of Salmon. And my boy Mr. Kirbs is going to be using Panda Edelus. I think this is going to become the Sprite, right? Alright. No, Amiki, shut up. It's not Meat Absa. It's not Meat Absa. No, stop. No, bad. Alright, Yeah, I'm just using green. Heck it. Where is your guys' first set? First game, I should say. Okay. This looks like it's set. So, we have Kirbs versus Salmon. So we got Edelus versus Absa. Right, I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't. I just wanted to check to make sure. Because I know that Nate can't really update the premium skins in the same way. Or at least for Penguin Absa, Toxtrano, and... Oh, unfortunate SD. Alright. Let's see what we got right here. Right off the gate, I like how Salmon's using, I already have seen Salmon use Quick Attack for movement once, which is something that some of the Absas earlier didn't really do at all. Dang. Unfortunate whiff right there. In that position, Salmon, I think your best parry punish would have been down air into up air, or down air up strong. One of those two. Down air is legitimately a good parry punish on Absa, so try to pull some of that in, if you can. You may already know this, I just want to point it out because you missed it. And let's see here, Kirbs is going to be refreshing his armor. And, alright, trying to edge guard with the icicles. Actually trying to edge guard with the armor, with the shards. And Salmon rolling in once again. It's hard to say yet. I feel like I've seen Salmon... That was such a sick catch! I'm really surprised that I'm surprised at Galaxy. Actually, I'm a little surprised at Galaxy. But I'm very surprised that that Thunderline hit. That was a really sick catch. Fortunately, not going to be taking the game. Game 1 going to be going to Kirby. In Game 2, I think this is a good stage pick. On the one hand, I feel like this is a weird pick for Absa just because you generally want more space versus Edelus to run away and try to camp him out. But there's a unique property in that Edelus doesn't actually like this stage, so that's probably reasonable enough. That's a bit of an issue. Salmon, I probably haven't been paying enough attention. But, yeah, right, I have seen you gone for F tilt 2 a couple times, and that's just something I don't think you should ever do. There's always something better you can do out of F. And right there, like that. That was sick. That was really sick. So I know that you know F tilt stuff, I should say. So I won't really point that out too much. But yeah, you want to be careful on how much you use F tilt 2. It's a move that you'd want to use pretty rarely. I can sort of see you being able to abuse it against Edelus if he's going to be ground sliding a lot. So far, Mr. Kirbs is doing a really good job of just staying glued to Salmon. Okay, I don't know if that was a misinput or just the most disrespectful and ignorant edgeguard I've ever seen. Either way, I appreciate Kirbs going for it. Going right into the down B. Alright, good! That was nice. I really like your I really like your up air usage. Or your uppy usage, rather. Oh no, air dodging into that. Salmon, something I will say is that I feel like you haven't really been abusing the thing that Absa can abuse versus Edelus, which is that his recovery is very exploitable as long as you get the right 1 or 2 reads. It's definitely not the worst recovery in the game, But yeah, Absa can really make it difficult for Edlis to get back, and I feel like so far, Kirbs has been getting back relatively quickly, or like relatively easily. So try to be cautious of that. Oh, and that was just an unfortunate, slightly late roll. Okay, oh, I think you went for the downer right there and just did it too late. That's kind of unfortunate, but I respect it. Picking up on some better parry punish habits for sure. That's it. F tilt 2 when he's on the platform. Honestly could. Burrs in the desert works so well on this stage. Alright, right there. I was kind of expecting Kirbs to go for Dacus. Okay, good catch on the jump there. It's like I see Salmon going for icicle parries, just messing up the timing a little bit. So like if you can, you know, if you feel like you're not comfy on the timing yet, definitely see if you can nail that down. Edlis is definitely one of those matchups that's important to learn early on. I'm just trying to, oh man. 3 of them. There isn't a strict best percent, but I guess a general would be to start picking it up after like 80 to 90. Yeah, even just above 70. Like, right? Just don't do it at like 50 or below. Like, especially but like 50 or below. You're just gonna get blown up for that. But there's no strict, like, you know, one and done. This is when you should be using armor. It's just, don't do it at low percents. So, Mr. Kirbs is actually going to be moving on and fighting the winner of our other pool. Because we had an odd number of players today, so someone got a bye in this. And that someone was Barnstormer, coming in with Ori. Ew, Ori Definitive Edition art. Alright, so now I can actually put in a thing. This is real finals. The finals of the finals. Oh, I got them mixed up again. Rep. Alright. So, let's see what we can find out here. I feel like so far, Kirbs has already been using a lot of icicles. So Barn kind of has to catch himself jumping and figuring out how to catch. Yeah, he went for the hammer right there. I don't know if that was just some random thing, but he went for the hammer, but there wasn't ice, which is kind of lucky for Kirbs. But in general, I think Barn needs to figure out how to play a little bit more grounded to make sure he has the time to parry icicles. Okay. Kirbs, I'm like 90% certain you still had your air dodge there, so get used to using air dodge out of your uppy startup. Ori Dare is really predictable. So yeah, if I was not paying attention and you didn't have your air dodge, that's another thing entirely. But don't let yourself get hit by predictable edge guarding options like that. Alright, good catch. Good catch. Alright, Barn, trying to get something going right here. This is probably prime time for Ori to just combo the hell out of Edlis and armor. Unfortunately, Kirbs kind of running all over him a little bit right now. Not getting any too many big strings going. And yeah, not surviving those up airs. Definitely a weird move to DI. It's the only move of its kind in the game. But you gotta learn how to survive it if you're gonna get good at the matchup. Is Kirbs gonna come up with the second 3-0? Let's see. Alright, Barn is already being a tiny bit more aggressive. Code, you really like my music pack code, don't you? That's like the only thing you can comment on when you're watching my streams. I don't mind it, it's just kind of funny to me. Bro, that's not how you spell my name. Lamau. Oh wow. Barn catching him out of the jab with the Echelon. That's an interesting situation. Code, come with the checks mix. Code poggers. Alright, so what can I do right now? Barn, you're going for a lot of down tilt right now. I'm not sure if you have better combo extenders than that on Ori. There's a good chance you do. But I feel like this is less down tilt than you usually use, so at least I feel like you are weaning off the habit a little bit, which is good. And I like how you're playing right now. It feels like you're being pretty patient on the edge guard. Although, to be honest, against Edilus, a lot of the times the best option is to just go in and like press buttons and make him scared to do anything. In this matchup, it's really important that you abuse Edilus off stage. A lot of them, especially at this level, a lot of the matchups I've seen, or like a lot of this matchup that I've seen rather, has been solely defined by the Ori's edge guarding. Right? I've seen Ori's win just from edge guarding. And like, I can't really emphasize enough that it's important to pick up on that. Okay. And yeah, Kirbs, Barn's using a lot of Orb right now. I feel like you could probably stand to improve your mobility and rely more on Ori's mobility rather than your projectile. As far as Kirbs is concerned, definitely just learn how to deal with that. Get the parry timing down. Or just like dash back, worst comes to worst. Because, at least at that point, not so much now, but yeah, Barn was just kind of throwing orbs at you and you were just running into them. You can't be letting that happen. It's not a huge deal, but it does mean you're not really going to be getting in. It's just kind of going to be slowly getting chipped out. That was somewhat questionable DI on Barn's part, but he did live, just barely in it. Alright, Kirbs at 132. Not looking amazing, but it's definitely possible for him to bring this back. You never really know with that LS. Doesn't have the armor anymore, but he is still living frozen. And giving him a lot of space to survive. I do think this is a good stage pick from Barn. He just has to be careful of making sure, again, he's edge guarding and making sure he's not letting Kirbs survive for too long. That's the one really scary part about fighting Edilus on this stage. Is that even though it's not great for Edilus, it's one of his worst stages, which is why I say it's a good stage pick. You just have to make sure you know how to get kills. No, Barn rolled in! Oh, that was a really good comeback from Kirbs. Gotta say. Jumping into game 3, we're gonna be going back to first? Isn't this back where we came from? And man, Kirbs has a really good punish game. Definitely the Edilus special, and that was 0 to death. Alright, probably don't wanna... So here's the thing, right? And people were talking about this in chat, but I want to make sure it's recorded in case you or anyone else comes back to it. If you get armor at 0%, there is one major benefit, which is that you can try to abuse up B out of things. But yeah, you generally don't want to have armor at 0. Because the up B case is really niche. One thing I will say, Kirbs, is that I feel like maybe I'm just missing something here and I haven't been paying attention enough, but I feel like you could probably be using dash attack, wave dash back a little bit more. Definitely one of the strongest movement mixes probably in the entire game. And come to think of it, I don't feel like I've seen you use it all that much in any of these games. So if you can start picking up on that, that would be very nice. Kirbs still has a solid 100% lead right. Oh, make that a solid stock lead. Damn. Alright, going for the punish. Only getting 21 off of it. Catching him on the approach with the armor. Not bad, not bad. Right, definitely, again, something that... Oh, Barn went for an orb hop and missed it. That's unfortunate. Amiki, I really hope he's not because that would make me sad. I don't want another Edalus to overtake me in RAS. Alright, though, with all that said, Mr. Kirbs doing an excellent job, just kind of sweeping the bracket, to be honest. He did a very good job, put in a lot of work. Just gotta be more conscientious of knowing how you can wave dash cancel dash attack, and being more thoughtful about when and how you use armor. But yeah, overall, good games from everyone tonight. Pretty fun to watch. I had a good time. I'll probably archive this on YouTube tomorrow, and maybe possibly if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, if anyone wants me to post the VOD of this in VOD review for you to reference, just like ping me. If literally anyone wants that, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just put it on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I need to go drink some water because my voice is very tired right now, and I'm gonna go play some Mario Kart before I go to bed. Stay hydrated, everyone, and good night.